Okay, so looks like most of the people came in. I hope you had some coffee to refresh yourself and be ready to start. First, thank you everyone for joining us to another Kamailio conference. It's the 14th, this one. And besides that, it's kind of special, celebrating like a quarter of century since the project started as writing C code. There will be a session about the evolution of SER Kamailio project with some of the people involved in the early years of the project. And then a lot of the actual developers are in the room. Tomorrow morning we have this short session about like Ask Me Anything, where you can ask about the direction of the project, or if you have some other technical specific question, we'll try to address them. First, I'll really like to thank to our sponsors. It made it possible again, and besides that, we had quite a lot of submission this year, and we couldn't accommodate. We squeezed some shorter session, and yeah, thank you for those that accepted the short sessions this year. We had to reject also quite some proposals, interesting proposals, and we decided to accept, and at the end we accepted, not accepted, but we gave like a free conference pass for 4 other people that made proposals, thanks to the sponsor that allow us that flexibility. So maybe some of them you'll see in these 5 minutes, 5 slides. I asked them, we don't have this one, maybe you want to do that if you like. But yeah, so we had 4 rejected proposals, giving a free pass for them, and then a few other, let's say, invited people from the ecosystem that, for example, the person that helps us with Kamailio World server, hosting it and so on, we were able to accommodate, besides the usual speakers and guests from the sponsors. So thank you once again, because allow us to bring more from the community, those that try to help us. Yeah, Andreas Front is helping us with pretty much every edition, maybe a new company for those that know him from like before pandemic. So Cfront, there are a few guys here available to show demos. He'll follow up after me, so I don't focus much on him. But then we have Henning and Jilava supporting us this year, and they are also a large team here, a few people, comparing like 4 or so, 5 with Henning. Then Diabolocom, last minute, the guys should be here, I guess. Thank you guys again. You should decide a bit faster because we couldn't get you on the roll-ups. But yeah, that helped anyhow to make it possible. Simon is not here, but it's one of those companies that support it at every edition, and this year they increased the level. Thank you. Charles should be here, maybe not yet in the room. I have seen him last evening, but also David Duffett, if not, it's here. He was promoting us, and yeah, thank you, Simon, for all the years, but especially this year where yeah, the level of sponsorship was increased. And probably the company that helped us not only with Kamailio World, but I think pretty much every event that we did, like 10 years SCR, but then Kamailio development meetings, Sipgate, Marcus, Andreas should be here, the team from them. They are coordinating the 2 sessions with multiple participants, the 5 slides in 5 minutes about your deployment or your project, and then the Kamailio config challenge. So Marcus and Andreas, again, Marcus, your hand up so people can see you. If you want to participate to these 2 sessions, get in contact with them. If you forgot their faces, come to me and I will set you in contact. You can look on the website in the schedule, the last one today. So if you want, there is a form if you want to submit, but the best now is to get in contact with the guys here. And tomorrow, just before the lunch. And then we'll have, since we are there, another interactive session. I'll have the slides about. But James Buddy with Dangerous Demos. James was here, it's here. He will find you if you don't find him. So SIPGate, really many thanks for like very, very long support in all the events we had around the project. Then Alexander and Homer team, they gave the red t-shirts. Maybe they're outside still dispatching them. They help also our event at this edition. The biggest things I could have in terms of infrastructure, the PASCOM guys, so recording, audio, it's running smooth for all the past editions. Video streaming in Kamailio World, if you have, I don't know, colleagues or friends that want to watch Kamailio World YouTube channel, probably it's already live there. They have put a lot of effort last evening also to set up everything, and we are really grateful for their support. So Sebastian will speak later, will arrive, but then 3 guys are already here. Thank you, Jan, then Quirin, and Thomas for all your efforts. Snom should come again to give some devices as giveaways. We have other giveaways as well for the code challenge and so on. But yeah, they usually come and bring some phones or some speakers, SIP phones and so on. I haven't spotted them, might be a bit late. They are in Berlin, so everyone local is typically late. Not me, I slept in the hotel. Then, yeah, we have the friends from LOD and Fred Posner. They offer us many servers that we use for our infrastructure, for building, hosting Debians, and so on. They support the event quite a lot. And then the partners projects or events like Lucon API ban. And I'm from Asipto, the main organizer of this event. So thank you all the companies once again for all your effort, not always financial, but also a lot of time and other resources allocated to make this possible. So yeah, we have 25 years. It's still a few months before, but it's the year. So we try to mark that as kind of celebration event. We will continue beyond 25 years. Of course, the community looks quite strong, and there is an increase on activity actually in the last couple of months. I have some statistics, probably I'll present on this evolution session. Let me see, but yeah, in average we had like over 1,500 commits per year, the average, some years more and others less. And I think there are over 500 overall contributors. Okay, there are 25 years. The last year, over 70. So it looks really good from my opinion. Of course, it's kind of established market, maybe not so much enthusiasm on, on the web like it was years before, a lot of tweeting on LinkedIn on new products and so on. Of course, it's now a lot of AI, and somehow it's reflected also in our agenda here with some presentation. But I'm really happy with the evolution so far in terms of development. It's a community, so there is not a big company controlling the project. But hopefully we manage to get along as much as possible in terms of having Kamailio as a common goal, to have it stable, scalable, and not try to direct it to various purposes. The schedule as a structure, so you will have coffee breaks and should be some bits to eat at that coffee breaks. Also in the afternoon will be a second one. Lunch would be in the restaurant area, so everything is included. And then in the evening, we'll have the social event. Also the restaurant area should be like a buffet, proper dinner actually. And during the day, you have the drinks in the back. I would suggest not to bring too much on the table, especially because there are a lot of people, and not to by mistake or, not intentional, but could happen that you pour on some colleagues. So try not to bring too much, and when you finish, put it back, or better go outside and enjoy during the breaks. Tomorrow will be similar structure for the day with 2 coffee breaks and the lunch in the middle. The interactive session, I already somehow mentioned them, will be this panel about the evolution of the project. Then we have from the Cibgate team the 2 session, one at the end of the day today and tomorrow before the lunch. And then we have dangerous demos today before the last coffee break. And in the morning will be this with kind of open discussion with the Kamailio developers. For those that you could submit the config challenge and the 5 minutes, 5 slides, there is some form I said, but better at this stage you could just go to Marcus and Andreas from the Cibgate team. Social networking, yeah, we still have accounts, not much activity on Twitter or X right now. I don't know. It seems like it's no longer a favorite channel. LinkedIn, we posted a bit more on it. There is a Kamailio group. I posted in my name. We don't have a group, like a account for the project itself. So it was more like a personal post there. The YouTube channel, as I mentioned, again, thanks to the Pascon team, will be also recording, available after the event available. So if you want to spend some time on chatting with new people here, you can go outside, skip a session, because later you can record it. Of course, we want you here to post questions and so on. I just wanted to highlight a bit that is not really critical if you missed something, because you could look at it later, and it's mainly for me, I would say, because I'm not able to watch most of the session as I have to go out for, let's say, administrative reasons. So having the recording, it's very useful. As every year, we mention that thing with the VAT, that's the rule in the European Union. We have to charge the VAT at the place of the physical events. If your company is located in European Union, should be easy to claim it, but could be case by case. I don't know all the countries. In some countries easier, others not. Germany, it's straightforward. It's the same country. But yeah, 90% is not something that we keep. We give it to the tax authorities. So in the price of the ticket, we have to put this. We are forced by law. From the rest, we have to cover the conference expenses. So that's how the law works. And of course, it's kind of regarding event, but try not to leave your personal belongings, especially like passport IDs or portemonnaies or so. When you go out, there are some other people coming in and on. We don't have like security around. It should be safe, but we don't take any liability. So please take care, especially passports, portemonnaies, and so on. Laptops, phones, whatever you have, very important. So that would be the introduction. we'll go now quickly over what happened during the last year, more or less like a summary. Some of the presentation, including mine, the last one, will focus on some of the features we added. Kind of continues the last one because we went a bit more into multi-threading, and I wanted to have everyone clear what that means in the way that it's not actually breaking. We try to have like an evolution, not a revolution that will change your deployment drastically from a release to another, even if it's a major release. But that will be later tomorrow when I'll have the session. So yeah, we are in the 25th year of development. We had the last release earlier this year is the 6.1 series. That means the 6.0 is the second last, and the two maintained will be 6.1 and 6.0. 5.8, it's already out of maintenance. It was the last release, I don't know, 1 month ago or so. We don't plan any more releases. Even it was a switch from 5.8 to 6.0. It's still pretty much backward compatible. You should have no issues to backport. So yeah, we'll get back maybe to the history and all this later with the session about the evolution of the project. So what's new on this 6.1, the last release series? We'll have Jonathan there in the back if you need to ask more about the first two modules. I also want to ask, but I'm not sure I have time now to understand where. Then we have two other modules, peer state and the p-timer. P-timer, I think it's from Mac's colleague. I don't see Mac yet here. He's a speaker also tomorrow. And the peer state, it's kind of ability to publish kind of aggregated information like registration state, call state, kind of module, not only presence. Then other features, quite a lot of work on TLS lately. Luckily, not only by me, we have a very good contributor developers in Singapore. It was here 2 years ago, Shipping Chan. I'm really grateful for him. He takes the heavy lifting of these changes in the libSSL that were quite a nightmare to adapt from like a multi-process to a multi-threading. They did those changes and we had to, so like for more than 5 years, we were trying to adapt because they are not that transparent. They change internal APIs and so on. But hopefully we got to a stable state. And now, even more in the upcoming 6.2, we have like even more, let's say, pure TLS, multi-threading approach for the TLS. TLS Wolf SSL actually has multi-threading option only. I'll have slides about it. But then, yeah, we have a lot of contributions and commits and new features or enhancements to existing features, new dispatching algorithms, new variables and transformations. Then this CMake is kind of fully integrated, including the packaging, and probably will remove the make files. What is keeping back, it's actually me still having some scripts on server side, relying on the all make files for kind of continuous integration and testing. But Debians and RPMs and build can be done with CMake. Thanks again to Xenophon and there, Jilava, that put a lot of effort on it. Also, Alexander helped at some point, Dubovicov, with this CMake. Then good support for, or some work on this atomic operation for ARM systems. Victor there, the other Victor, made the main contributors using the city standard atomic operations, and yeah, you should not see like using a lot of CPU, especially on idle state because of the busy looping locks we had. So ability to use like p-threads and standard atomic operation on these, let's say, smaller or energy efficient CPUs has been work on it. Enhancement also to RTP engine distribution of this internal hash table, what call it's using which RTP engine. So you have the link. I just selected a few of them to give an example, but I don't want to focus more on the web, or during the breaks we can discuss more. Not necessarily with me. As I said, there are a lot of developers in the room. Likely you'll just bump into it. Since it was last year, a summary of what happened last year with 6.0 release, so also a couple of new modules, and the link for that release, it's at the bottom. Then what enhancements were done last year to the existing modules, again in the series of 6.0, trying to cover last year and this year. And since we released the 6.1 in February was, actually, as I said, I saw quite a lot of increase in development. Might be just the chance we have Wolfgang contributed, will be a speaker, so it's here, the JWT3, because the libJWT3 changed the API, so it was easier to make a new module than make the old one working with two versions of the libraries. CP integration for some testing, and then a module to facilitate the configuration management for TLS. So these are in the development. I haven't played that much with them. Then, yeah, we have other features like WebSocket client role with support from Seafront again. Allows Kamailio to initiate WebSocket connection. It's work in progress, can connect, can send, but is not yet transparent integrated with like T-Relay or so. I'm working on that, I have to do it after this event. So the past few weeks I work on it, but I didn't finish. Richard from RTP Engine added support for UDP proxy protocol. We had HA proxy if you want to put it behind some cloud servers. Again, these are fresh new. Take it easy if you want to test it, be aware it's there. Probably the 6.2 release will be earliest late this year or beginning of next year. Usually now we wait for our Kamailio developer meeting to happen, which usually is like November. This last year was early December, to meet like 10 people usually, 10, 15. Meet in Düsseldorf, hosted again by SIP Gate for like 2 days, and after that we do it. So it's like 2 or 3 months since the release, but we have already like 400 commits, a lot of activity there. We focused a little bit on security by will, or by others forcing us, by reporting quite a lot of potential issues, some of them quite important, and we made 2 CVs so far. A few of them are in preparation. I can say one is highly critical. If you haven't upgraded to the latest version, so it's in the stable version, the latest minor version, you should do it. Thing is that it's about code that it's more than 10 years or sometimes 15 years old, but hidden. Now, whatever AI tools or security researchers use, they report it, they found it, and so on. Sandro here, it's one of them. He put some work on us 2 days before the event, just to be sure in the breaks we don't stay. But yeah, so we take that serious, but takes also time. Again, it's community in this security team right now. We are like 4 people or 5 because we need to assert if it's something really critical, not put it on the public directly. But yeah, we probably have to increase a bit to add other people there to help with. As I said, there are a couple of them very good, but some of them are more like just casual bugs. We look at them and we'll fix it, but yeah, we discuss and with the reporter whether it's really security or not. This is case by case. We created a repository so people doing security analysis, they can get listed for the credits on a GitHub page, let's say, because we want to acknowledge this work. And could be also documentation, so it doesn't have to be only security. Anyone can get listed there if he wants like a reference. So we'll have to approve the pull request if we consider the work worth for listing the credits. So yeah, you are encouraged to contribute not only the code, documentation or something else, and you will be credited with that. To kind of wrap up, not to start with the first session in a delayed, I'm just going quickly over SIPGate. We will have probably again this year, if the situation worldwide is fine, developer event. Last year I said it was early December. Last year also we created an open collective that helps especially Victor, because Debian, Victor Seva this time here, covering his expenses. We need to find a way to cover also his time, but we have a collective that at least now pays for the infrastructure. It's a little bit harder, as we discovered, with paying for like consultancy from this amount. I don't know, Victor might say something later more. But yeah, if we have like infrastructure cost and so on, it's easier. Then yeah, some more Consai Remis web interface. This is like a management interface for Kamailio database. I didn't have much time last year. I resumed it a little bit before the conference. Let's see next year. It's working. It's just not yet like battle tested, so look at it. Also, the CLI tool got some enhancements. Again, just as a summary. And then for those looking at Steer Shaken, this project I'm having with the company, it offers the library that powers Kamailio module, but also has tools so you can do testing for Steer Shaken independent of Kamailio, generate certificates, and so on. Some resources that we have, again, it's a slide I have every year. We have a very friendly community. Consider joining it. For questions, Fred is running also some chat. I'm not always active. From time to time I'm there. I'm still with the mailing list most of the case. GitHub for reporting issues. We don't use GitHub for like support general questions because we want to have it clear only for bugs and also tracking requests for new features, like if someone wants to implement it. So this would be where I'm finishing, maybe just in time for Andreas to start. I just want to add to show, yeah, if you do like git log reverse, minus reverse, you'll see actually where it was the first commit. So probably it was one of the fastest releases in the history, from like less than 24 hours from the first commit to the first working release. And since that we do it, Andrei should be here, lives in Berlin, so it's late, but will be here later for sure for this session. So I still have some slides and some photos, but probably I will put it during the, that session at the beginning. Any questions you have, we have two ladies at the registration desk. Ramona should be here also in minutes. For technical issues, audio, video, You'll notice where the PASCOM guys are located. I should be around for any question you might have in the, or during the event. So thank you everyone again for coming, and hopefully you'll have a very good event. Weather was not the best yesterday, maybe today also a bit cloudy, but you have to be here anyhow. Drinks in the evening again will be beer and wine, during the day non-alcoholic, and that will be. Thank you everyone.